The massive Calorian medical station hung in the void above Refuge 7 like a silver flower with metal petals. Each petal was a medical wing capable of treating thousands of patients. Dr. Valex pressed his six-fingered hands against the observation window, staring down at the planet below. What he saw made his crystalline eyes dim with sorrow. Smoke rose from dozens of camps scattered across the planet's surface. These weren't cooking fires or waste burns. They were funeral pyres, burning day and night without rest. The plague had arrived 3 weeks ago, and it was winning. Doctor, the Zelfran camp just reported another 200 dead. His assistant, Nurse Kelman, announced from behind him. Her voice trembled despite her professional training. That brings the day's total to over 800 across all camps. Valex turned from the window. The medical station's main treatment base stretched before him, filled with every advanced healing device the Calorians had developed over 5,000 years. Molecular reconstructors hummed alongside cellular regeneration tanks. Quantum diagnostic scanners worked next to biosynthetic organ printers. All of it useless against this enemy. The 3 species below had fled here after the Devourers consumed their home worlds. The Zelfrans, tall and graceful with their flowing tentacle hair, had been artists and philosophers before their world burned. Now they lay dying in makeshift hospitals, their beautiful songs replaced by painful coughs. The Borthek, stocky warriors with rock-like skin, had fought the machines until their planet cracked. Their legendary strength meant nothing against microscopic invaders. The Yixen, tiny and quick with their large eyes, had been the galaxy's best engineers. Their clever minds couldn't solve this puzzle that was killing them. "Show me the latest scans," Valex ordered, walking to his personal medical console. The holographic display lit up with microscopic images of the plague organism. It looked simple enough, a basic viral structure with protein spikes. But appearances lied. This thing rewrote itself faster than their computers could track. Every time they created a cure, the virus changed. Every treatment they tried, it adapted to resist. "So, we've detected 17 different mutations just today," Kelman reported, her antenna drooping with exhaustion. "The virus seems to know what we're going to try before we try it." Valex studied the data stream flowing across his screen. Infection rates, mortality statistics, treatment failures, all the numbers painted the same grim picture. At this rate, all 3 refugee species would be extinct within 2 months. A priority alert chimed through the station. Dr. Melrax, head of the isolation ward, appeared on the main screen. His usually calm demeanor had cracked. Behind him, Valex could see medical staff in full containment suits rushing between patient beds. "Valex, we've lost Ward 7 entirely," Melrax reported. "The plague broke through our containment barriers. It's not just adapting to treatments, it's learning our defenses." This was impossible. Viruses didn't learn. They mutated randomly, evolved slowly through natural selection. This thing was doing something else entirely. Something artificial. "Have you run the biosignature analysis?" Valex asked, though he dreaded the answer. "Yes." The results just came back. Melrax's face grew darker. "This isn't a natural plague. Someone built this thing. The molecular structure shows clear signs of engineering. Whoever made it designed it to kill as many different species as possible, as quickly as possible." Valex felt his heart sink. A bioweapon that explained everything. The rapid mutations, the treatment resistance, the way it seemed to anticipate their medical responses. Some intelligence had crafted this microscopic killer specifically to murder refugees. "Sir," Nurse Kelman called out, "we're receiving another evacuation ship. Survivors from the Kestra system. That's the 4th group this week." More refugees meant more victims. The plague would spread to them within hours of landing. Valex watched through the window as the transport ship descended toward the planet's surface, carrying hundreds of beings who had already lost everything. They were seeking sanctuary and would find only death. He walked to the main communications array. The time had come to admit defeat, to ask for help from anyone who might listen. The Galactic Cooperative had medical ships, but they were already overwhelmed by Devourer attacks across 12 sectors. The Healing Guild of Altair was 2 months away at maximum speed. The academic medical centers were busy with their own research. That left the newer species, the ones still finding their place in galactic society. The humans had joined the cooperative only 50 years ago. They were known mainly as traders and diplomats, but their pharmaceutical companies had shown surprising innovation. Maybe their different perspective could see something Calorian medicine had missed. Valex activated the emergency broadcast system. His message would reach every corner of known space within days. This is Dr. Valex of the Calorian Medical Station at Refuge 7. We face a bioweapon beyond our capabilities. 3 refugee species are dying by the thousands. We request immediate medical assistance from any civilization capable of providing aid. Even the humans, with their pharmaceutical knowledge, might help where we have failed. He ended the transmission and watched another funeral pyre ignite on the planet below. Time was running out, and he had just asked the galaxy's traders to fight a war that medicine was losing. The first sign something was coming appeared on Calorian sensors as 3 massive energy spikes at the edge of the solar system. Dr. Valex was checking morning casualty reports when his communication officer, Telman, rushed into the medical bay with wide eyes. "Doctor, we're detecting incoming ships. Big ones." Valex followed him to the main observation deck where a crowd of medical staff had gathered around the long-range scanners. The display showed 3 objects approaching at incredible speed. As they drew closer, the scanner revealed their true size. These weren't medical transports or supply ships. These were warships, and they were enormous. "By the healing light," whispered Nurse Kelman, "those things are bigger than our entire station." The lead ship measured over 2 kilometers long, its hull bristling with weapon systems and sensor arrays. Twin engines at the rear glowed with contained plasma energy. Behind it, 2 more vessels of similar size maintained perfect formation. Their dark gray hulls reflected the system's pale sun like polished metal. "Are those human ships?" asked Dr. Melrex, squinting at the scanner readings. The computer confirmed it. Human design signatures, human energy patterns, human communication frequencies. But these weren't the small trade vessels or diplomatic ships the galaxy knew humans for. These were instruments of war on a scale that made even veteran Calorians step back from the displays. The ships slowed as they approached Refuge 7, their massive forms casting shadows across the medical station. Energy readings spiked as they activated scanning systems more powerful than anything in Calorian space. The lead vessel positioned itself between the station and the planet below, while the other 2 took flanking positions. "Incoming transmission," Telman announced, his voice barely above a whisper. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a human male in military uniform. His hair was gray at the temples, his face weathered but calm. Behind him, the bridge of his ship hummed with activity as crew members worked at stations covered in tactical displays. "This is Admiral James Mitchell of the Human Defense Fleet aboard the UHSV Mercy Star. Calorian Medical Station, please respond." Dr. Valex stepped forward, still trying to process what he was seeing. "Admiral, this is Dr. Valex. We requested medical assistance. Are these hospital ships?" A slight smile crossed Mitchell's face. "Doctor, we received your distress call 3 days ago. My medical staff analyzed the plague data you included in your transmission. What you're dealing with isn't a medical problem. It's a military one." "I don't understand," Valex replied, gesturing toward the planet below where smoke still rose from the funeral pyres. "Our people are dying of disease, not battle wounds. We need medicine, not weapons." Admiral Mitchell leaned forward in his command chair. "Doctor, that plague down there isn't natural. Someone built it. Someone deployed it. And our sensors are telling us they are still here, still active." On the human ship's bridge, a young officer approached Mitchell with a data tablet. The Admiral glanced at it and nodded grimly. "Commander Wesley, show the good doctor what we found," Mitchell ordered. The screen split, showing both Mitchell and a detailed sensor display of the Refuge 7 system. Red dots appeared scattered throughout local space, invisible to Calorian sensors but clearly visible to human equipment. "What are those?" Valex asked, though something cold was forming in his stomach. "Automated dispersal platforms," Commander Wesley explained, her voice crisp and professional. 17 of them, all cloaked, all actively spreading plague agents into your atmosphere. They are positioned to ensure maximum coverage of all refugee camps. The medical bay fell silent. Every Calorian present stared at the display, watching as red targeting markers highlighted each hidden device. The plague wasn't just spreading naturally. It was being deliberately maintained, constantly refreshed by invisible machines floating in their own space. "That's impossible," Dr. Melrack stammered. "Our sensors would have detected." "Your medical sensors are designed to find sick people, not military hardware," Mitchell interrupted gently. "These platforms use Devourer stealth technology. They are meant to be invisible until their job is done." Valek felt his legs grow weak. "The Devourers did this? They are still here." "Not the main fleet," Commander Wesley continued. "These are automated systems, left behind to soften up refugee populations before the harvest ships arrive. Standard Devourer tactics. Deploy the plague, wait for mass casualties, then collect the survivors when they are too weak to resist." Admiral Mitchell stood from his chair, and Valek could see the determination in his eyes. "Doctor, you can't cure this plague while those platforms keep spreading it. Every treatment you develop, every life you save, those machines count it with fresh contamination. It's like trying to empty the ocean with a bucket while someone else keeps pouring water in." Behind Mitchell, the bridge crew worked frantically at their stations, weapon systems powered up with low-humming sounds. Targeting computers locked onto each cloak platform. The 3 massive warships adjusted their positions, forming a protective triangle around both the medical station and the planet below. "So what do you propose?" Valek asked, though he was beginning to understand. "We remove the source," Mitchell said simply. "My ships carry enough firepower to eliminate every one of those platforms. Once they are gone, your medical teams can actually start saving lives." Through the observation windows, Valek could see the human warships maneuvering into attack positions. Their weapon arrays glowed with building energy. For the first time in weeks, he felt something he'd almost forgotten. "Hope, how soon can you begin?" he asked. Admiral Mitchell's smile was sharp as a blade. "Doctor, we already have." The human warships moved like predators stalking invisible prey. From the bridge of the UHSV Hope Commander Lisa Thompson watched dozens of scanner drones streak away from the 3 ships, their blue engine trail creating a web of light across the dark space around Refuge 7. "Deploy Pattern 7, she ordered, her fingers dancing across the tactical display. "I want full-spectrum coverage of the entire system." The drones were marvels of human engineering, each one no bigger than a fighter craft but packed with sensors that could detect a coin floating in space from 1,000,000 kilometers away. They spread out in precise formations, their scanning beams invisible to most species but designed specifically to penetrate Devourer stealth technology. Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Barnes, the ship's sensor specialist, monitored the incoming data streams from his station. Rows of numbers and energy signatures flowed across his screens like digital rain. "Commander, we're picking up anomalous gravitational readings. Grid section 77 Alpha." "Mark it," Thompson replied, highlighting the area on the main display. A red circle appeared in what looked like empty space between 2 of Refuge 7's moons. Admiral Mitchell's voice crackled through the communication system from the Mercy Star. "All ships, weapons to standby. Remember, these installations have been operating for weeks. They are locked into automatic patterns, but that doesn't mean they won't fight back when cornered." On the medical station, Dr. Velix watched through the observation windows as the human ships began their systematic hunt. The warships moved with a coordination that spoke of years of experience fighting together. The Mercy took the high orbital path, its massive sensor arrays sweeping the space above the planet. The Hope patrolled the middle zone where most of the moons orbited. The Salvation prowled the outer system, hunting for installations that might be hiding in the asteroid belt. "Contact," announced Lieutenant Barnes, his voice sharp with excitement. "Devourer stealth platform, bearing 27 Mach 4. Distance 800,000 kilometers." On the tactical display, a ghostly outline appeared where empty space had been moments before. The object was roughly cylindrical, about the size of a small space station, with mechanical arms extending from its surface like the legs of a metal spider. It rotated slowly, spraying invisible death toward the planet below. "Target locked," reported Weapons Officer Captain Diana Foster from her station. "Plasma torpedoes armed and ready." "Fire," Thompson ordered. Twin streaks of blue-white energy lanced out from the Hope, crossing the distance to the cloaked platform in seconds. The torpedoes struck the installation dead center, and for a moment space lit up like a small star. When the light faded, nothing remained but expanding debris and glowing metal fragments. "Target destroyed," Foster announced with satisfaction. "One down, 16 to go." The hunt continued across the system. Each installation the humans found was different from the last. Some hung motionless in the shadows of asteroids, using the rocks to mask their heat signatures. Others drifted in complex orbits, following patterns designed to avoid detection by conventional sensors. One particularly clever device had attached itself to the hull of a derelict cargo ship, using the wreck as camouflage. "These things are smart," observed Commander Wesley from the bridge of the Salvation as her ship destroyed a platform that had been hiding inside an ice comet. "They're not just following simple programs. Each one adapted to its hiding spot." From her medical bay aboard the Mercy Dr. Patricia Wells monitored the destruction with growing excitement. Each time a platform died, her instruments detected immediate changes in the plague patterns below. The constant rain of fresh contamination was finally stopping. "Admiral," she reported to Mitchell, "we're seeing real improvement. Without the constant reinfection, the plague organisms are beginning to break down naturally. Their artificial stability is failing." Mitchell nodded grimly from his command chair. "How long before you can synthesize a cure?" "Give me 6 hours once the last platform is down," Wells replied. The bioweapon was designed to resist treatment while the dispensers remained active. With the source eliminated, it becomes just another virus we can beat. The final platform proved to be the most cunning. Hidden deep in the planet's upper atmosphere, it had been releasing plague agents directly into the air currents. Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Harrison, piloting a heavily shielded fighter from the Hope finally located it after following trace chemical signatures through the cloud layers. "This is Falcon 1, Harrison reported as his fighter's missiles found their target. "Last platform neutralized. The sky is clear." A cheer went up across all 3 human ships. On the medical station, Dr. Valix felt tears forming in his crystalline eyes as he watched the final explosion bloom in the planet's atmosphere like a firework of hope. But Admiral Mitchell's expression remained dark as he studied the long-range sensor displays. Deep space was showing new contacts, still days away but approaching fast. "Dr. Wells," he called to his medical officer, "how quickly can you produce that cure?" 6 hours, Admiral." "Why?" Mitchell turned to face the main screen, where distant red dots were beginning to appear at the edge of sensor range. "Because we just sent up a flare that could be seen halfway across the galaxy. Every Devourer ship in 3 sectors knows something just went wrong with their harvesting operation." The dots on the screen multiplied as more ships dropped out of hyperspace at the system's edge. Huge, angular vessels designed for one purpose, consuming entire populations. "The main fleet is coming," Mitchell announced to the medical station, "and they are not going to be happy to find their trap broken." The Devourer fleet dropped out of hyperspace like a plague of metal locusts. 12 massive ships materialized at the edge of the system, each one stretching over 3 kilometers in length. Their hulls were dark and angular, covered in mechanical arms and processing equipment designed for one terrible purpose: harvesting entire civilizations. Dr. Valix watched from the medical station's observation deck as the alien fleet formed into a perfect hunting formation. The ships moved with cold mechanical precision, their energy signatures pulsing with the rhythms of artificial minds that had never known mercy or doubt. "They are beautiful in a horrifying way," whispered Nurse Kelman, her voice filled with dread. The lead Devourer ship was the largest, its hull studded with massive collection bays that could swallow entire city blocks. Sensor arrays swept across the system like the eyes of a giant predator, taking inventory of every living being within range. Behind it, 11 smaller but equally deadly vessels spread out to surround Refuge 7. Admiral Mitchell stood on the bridge of the Mercy studying the tactical display with calm eyes. His 3 ships looked tiny compared to the Devourer fleet, like fishing boats facing a pack of sea monsters. "Sir," reported Lieutenant Colonel Barnes from his sensor station, "they are scanning the planet, reading the refugee camps, counting survivors." A communication signal burst across all frequencies, the artificial voice of the Devourer Collective echoing through space with mechanical coldness. "Human vessels, you are interfering with a lawful harvesting operation. Withdraw immediately. This biomass has been properly prepared and belongs to us by right of conquest." The message repeated in 17 different languages, each translation carrying the same emotionless demand. The Devourers had done this before, many times. They expected compliance. Admiral Mitchell activated the fleet communication system, his voice steady and clear. Devourer Fleet, this is Admiral James Mitchell of the Human Defense Fleet. These people are under our protection. You will leave this system immediately. A pause. Then the mechanical voice returned, now carrying a note of what might have been confusion in an artificial mind. Humans, you have no military presence in this sector. Your species is classified as traders and diplomats. Withdrawal be processed with the other biomass. Mitchell's smile was sharp as a blade. He turned to his weapons officer, Captain Foster. All ships, weapons free. Show them what human diplomacy really looks like. The 3 human warships erupted into action. The Mercy opened fire first, its main plasma cannon sending streams of superheated energy across space toward the nearest Devourer ship. The beam struck the alien vessel's hull, and something unexpected happened. The supposedly invincible armor cracked like eggshell. Direct hit on Target 1, Foster announced with satisfaction. Their shields are down, hull breach on multiple decks. The Devourer fleet reacted with mechanical fury, their own weapon systems powering up to return fire. But they had made a fatal miscalculation. Their weapons were designed to disable and capture, not destroy. Energy nets and paralysis beams launched out toward the human ships, designed to stop fleeing prey, not fight a real battle. Commander Thompson aboard the Hope laughed as the capture beams harmlessly struck her ship's military-grade shields. Is that their best shot? Targeting the lead harvester. Torpedoes away. A spread of 6 plasma torpedoes streaked toward the largest Devourer ship. The mechanical vessel tried to maneuver, but harvesting ships weren't built for combat flying. The torpedoes struck in sequence, each explosion tearing massive holes in the alien hull. Atmosphere and mechanical debris vented into space as the ship began to list. Captain Robert Hayes of the Salvation brought his ship into the fight from the flank, his railguns tearing through 2 Devourer vessels that tried to flee toward the outer system. The kinetic rounds, traveling at significant fractions of light speed, punched completely through their targets, leaving them spinning and powerless. These things are built like cargo haulers, Hayes reported over the fleet channel. All processing equipment, no real armor where it counts. The battle lasted 17 minutes. The Devourer ships, designed to terrorize defenseless populations, had no answer to weapons evolved from centuries of human warfare. Their energy nets and paralysis beams were useless against military shields. Their mechanical precision meant nothing when facing opponents who could think and adapt in real time. One by one, the massive harvesting ships broke apart under human fire. Some tried to ram the smaller human vessels in mechanical desperation, but Admiral Mitchell's crews were ready. The Mercy dodged a dying Devourer ship that tried to crash into it, then finished the crippled vessel with a point-blank torpedo spread. As the last Devourer ship exploded in silent fire, emergency sirens began wailing throughout the human fleet. But these weren't battle alerts, they were medical deployment signals. Deep inside each human warship, manufacturing bays that had been producing ammunition moments before shifted into medical production mode. Automated systems began churning out cure synthesizers, medical supplies, and portable hospital equipment at industrial scale. Dr. Patricia Wells appeared on the communication screen, her face bright with excitement. Cure synthesis complete, Admiral. The formula is already being transmitted to the medical station. We're deploying field hospitals to the planet's surface now. Captain had coordinated the supply drops from his bridge. Cargo pods filled with medical equipment descended toward refuge, 7 like shooting stars carrying hope instead of destruction. Dr. Valex, Admiral Mitchell called to the medical station. Your people won't have to face this alone anymore. We're leaving defensive platforms and early warning systems. The Devourers won't surprise anyone here again. On the medical station, Dr. Valex watched through tears as the first cure packages reached the refugee camps below. For the first time in weeks, the funeral pyres began to go dark. 2 weeks after the last Devourer ship had burned in space, the refugee camps on Refuge 7 looked like completely different places. Where smoke from funeral pyres had once darkened the sky, children now played in the morning sunlight. The constant wailing of mourning songs had been replaced by the sounds of reconstruction and hope. Dr. Velix walked through the largest Zelfran camp, marveling at the transformation. Families that had been preparing for death were now planning their futures. The graceful Zelfrans had regained their flowing movements, their tentacle hair once again swaying with the rhythm of their ancient songs. Young ones who had been too weak to stand were now racing between the medical tents, their laughter echoing across the camp. "Dr. Velix," called out a familiar voice. He turned to see Dr. Patricia Wells approaching, her human medical team close behind. The human medics had been working alongside Calorian healers for the past 2 weeks, and the partnership had produced remarkable results. "Dr. Wells, how are the Borthak patients responding?" Velix asked, referring to the rocky-skinned warrior who had been hit hardest by the plague. "Better than we hoped," Wells replied, consulting her datapad. "Their natural resilience helped once we eliminated the constant reinfection. We had 3 more patients walk out of intensive care this morning." They continued through the camp together, passing medical stations where human and Calorian staff worked side by side. The humans had brought not just weapons to this crisis, but also medical techniques that complemented Calorian healing arts perfectly. Where Calorian medicine focused on cellular regeneration and biological harmony, human medicine specialized in synthetic compounds and aggressive intervention. At the Yixin section of the camp, tiny engineers with their large, intelligent eyes were already back to their favorite activity, taking apart and rebuilding everything they could find. Several of them had reverse-engineered the human cure synthesizers, and were now producing improved versions that worked twice as fast. "Your people learn quickly," Wells observed, watching a group of young Yixin completely rebuild a medical scanner in under an hour. "They are just happy to be alive to learn," Valix replied. 3 weeks ago, I thought we would lose all of them." The death toll had indeed stopped climbing. 50,000 beings had died during the plague's worst days, but not a single new death had been recorded in over a week. The camps that had once resembled vast hospitals now looked like temporary cities where people were rebuilding their lives. As they reached the central medical station, Valek spotted Admiral Mitchell walking among the recovered patients. The human admiral still wore his military uniform, but he moved through the crowd like a gentle healer, stopping to speak with children and elders alike. Several young Zelfrans had started following him around, fascinated by the human who had saved their world with weapons of war. "Admiral," Valek called out as he approached, "I've been wanting to speak with you before your fleet departs." Mitchell toned, his weathered face showing the strain of the past 2 weeks. Despite the victory, the human commander looked like someone who carried the weight of difficult decisions. "Doctor, what can I do for you?" Valek gestured toward the bustling camps around them, where 3 species were slowly rebuilding their lives. "I must ask something that's been troubling me. When we sent out that distress call, we requested medical aid. Why did you respond with warships instead of hospital ships?" Mitchell was quiet for a moment, watching a group of Borthak children playing with a ball made from salvaged materials. Their laughter filled the air, sounds that would have been impossible 2 weeks ago. "Doctor, what would have happened if we had sent medical ships?" Mitchell asked, "How many more people would have died while our doctors tried to cure a plague that was being constantly refreshed by hidden machines?" "But surely medical aid was the obvious response to a medical crisis," Valek pressed. Lieutenant Catherine Brown, Mitchell's aide, stepped forward. "Doctor, sometimes the most merciful thing you can do is eliminate the source of suffering, not just treat its symptoms. Those platforms were murdering people faster than any medicine could save them." Mitchell nodded, pointing toward the orbital defensive platforms his fleet had left behind. The installation floated in space like metal guardians, their sensors constantly scanning for any sign of devourer activity. "We didn't just bring medicine to your people. We brought safety. Those early warning systems will detect any devourer fleet days before they arrive." "And the defensive platforms?" Valek asked, though he could see them glinting in the afternoon sun. "Automated defense systems," Brown explained. "If the devourers try to return, those platforms will buy you time to evacuate or call for help. They are programmed to recognize any ship using devourer technology." As the evening approached, the 3 human warships began their departure preparations. Their massive hulls reflected the setting sun as they powered up their engines for the jump to hyperspace. On the ground, thousands of refugees gathered to watch their saviors leave. Admiral Mitchell stood on the bridge of the Mercy looking down at the planet one last time. Commander Wesley, set course for the Altair sector. Intelligence reports devourer activity near the farming colonies. Course laid in, Admiral, Wesley replied, ready to jump on your command. Before giving the order, Mitchell opened a final communication to the medical station. Dr. Valex, if you face anything like this again, don't hesitate to call. Sometimes healing requires strength. The 3 warships vanished into hyperspace, leaving only stars and hope behind. In his private office, Dr. Valex updated the Calorian emergency protocols. Under the section for bioweapon attacks, he added a new line. When facing engineered suffering, contact the humans immediately. Outside his window, the refugee camp sparkled with lights as families shared evening meals together. Children played in the streets where bodies had once laid dying. The Zelfren sang their evening songs, the Borthak told stories of courage, and the Yixen built new toys from scraps of old sadness. They all understood now why humanity's warships carried names like Mercy Hope and Salvation Star. Sometimes the greatest healing came through superior firepower. The END ***.